Welcome to another episode of Art and Symbols of St. John's. We are going to be looking at the symbols that are carved on the ends of your pews. You've probably seen those. There are 8 in the series, and they repeat going down the pews. So we're going to take a look at this first one. And what you'll see as we go down, these all symbolize a couple different things, but the big one is different moments in the Passion of Christ. And so we will go through 8 different parts of that, and they are also associated with the old monastic hours, or the different times of prayer, some of which in the Lutheran Church we've kept up with, and so some of them might sound familiar. So this first one is associated with matins, and in this one we see that there are a pair of hands that are tied, and this is representing when Jesus was bound and led to Caiaphas, the high priest, where he was questioned there. Moving on to the next one here, we have 2 scourges or whips and a whipping post. This symbolizes, as you might have guessed, when Jesus was whipped. And then over here, and that would have been called lauds. This is called prime, which is, we see a basin of water and a pitcher. This is remembering when Jesus was questioned by Pilate, the governor, and Pilate famously washed his hands of the whole matter. Over here, the crown of thorns, and this is associated with Tierce, is the hour that it's called. Of course, when Jesus was mocked by the soldiers and a crown of thorns was placed on his head. This is sext, meaning 7, and that's because it's remembering the 7 last words of Jesus. In particular, this is remembering when Jesus died on the cross. And there we see a skull, which is said to represent Adam's skull, which is representative of the sin of the world and the death that we share that Jesus died for. And here is Christ in his final moments on the cross. This is called nones, remembering his death. And over here is the sealed tomb. This is associated with Vespers, it's called, when Christ was buried and the stone was rolled in front of it, in front of the entrance. And this one is associated with Compline, and this is to remember that the soldiers kept watch over the tomb, that they made sure that no one stole the body of Jesus. Which is described in Matthew's gospel in particular. And this is a lantern, said to be the ones that the soldiers would have used to keep their lamps lit as they watched over the grave. Thank you for joining in. We have one more art and symbols to do yet, and we'll see you next week.